Okay. Assalamu alaikum, Mr. Farid.
Assalamu alaikum.
It's nice to see you. First of all, Ramadan Mubarak.
Thank you very much.
Wish you all the best, inshallah. So now we are online. We are live stream. So let me introduce you. Mr. Farid is a representative universities from Italy. So today we want to talk about how to get scholarship 100% from Italian universities and how to get the 5,200 euros scholarship yearly. Am I right?
Yes.
So can you can you tell about the program first, and then we'll see the questions.
Yeah, I would like to give first of all information about the current situation,
Yes.
COVID-19. The cases is decreasing each day in Italy. So this is like almost more than 1 month. So these last weeks the cases is decreasing, and I think after 3rd or 3rd May, Italy will go the second phase of the coronaviruses. The small shops, other places will open, but of course the universities and school will be closed until end of the May or June. Yeah. The universities are planning to open in September, but this is not confirmed yet. So they will evaluate the situation. The government is currently working on it. There's 2 cases. First cases is most probably if the coronavirus cases will decrease, the government and Minister of Education will decide to open universities in September. Vice versa, second option is in September university will be closed. They will teach online. All system will be online. So in the first semester, students will get education in online. But this is not officially confirmed. We are waiting the Minister of Foreign Affairs and Minister of Education official statement about the universities. But I would like to inform that students should apply universities. The foreign students, for example, students from Uzbekistan who would like to come Italy, they have to do application right now, because end of the May, most universities application procedure will be closed, and then they cannot come in September, or they cannot start their education in September. This is the current situation, but we encourage all students who would like to study bachelor and master degree. They should apply right now until end of the May, and they can get admission letter right now, and then they can decide later on if they want to come Italy or if they want to proceed for next academic year their education. So it's up to the students, but first they have to get admission.
So is it possible to apply right now and
yes,
start online courses, or in Italy you are not using this kind of way of studying?
Currently, the current students who studying in Italy, all exams, all lectures is online. The students who would like to apply the next year, the prospective students, they should apply until end of the May. Most universities extended the deadlines. Even other news is that we know that most students, they don't have Ielts or TOEFL results because of these all language exams postponed or cancelled. Of course, most of the universities, they do Skype interview with students, or they wait their results until September or October until the enrollment. So students who don't have IELTS or TOEFL results, they can apply. The universities, they will make them Skype, or they will wait their IELTS or TOEFL until September.
So what kind of documents they need to apply in the first step?
The first step, they need their passport, one picture, their background study, like their university transcript or school transcript, their grades. They need their CV, motivation letter and reference letter. They will apply universities and they will get admission letter. And then they can, we are waiting also the pre-enrollment procedure. For this Minister of Foreign Affairs, they didn't announce yet. The embassy is doing pre-enrollment. So I think in next weeks, maybe they will announce it. But generally pre-enrollment deadline end of the July. But this year we are not expecting any deadlines about the pre-enrollment. Currently they are discussing this issue. So it's important currently that students get admission. Then I think there will be no deadline, but it's not confirmed yet. But I think the embassies will be also flexible about the dates.
That's good. So we have a question from the student. If students don't want to study online, what will be?
So if they don't want to study online, currently, all over the world, the universities, they doing the online. So in Italy, we don't know yet. In September, there will be maybe first semester, there will be online lecture. In this case, they have to study first semester online, and then second semester they can study on campus. But it's not officially announced yet. We are waiting. I think in June or July we will know it. It will be September. The lecture start in September or end of December or second semester.
All right. So another question: what is the university name? So I think you need to.
We present many public universities and private universities in Italy. For example, in Rome, there are Tor Vergata, Sapienza universities, and Link Campus. In Venice, we represent Ca' Foscari, UAV. We represent Padova, Pavia, Genova, Messina, Cattolica, Humanitas. So many public and private universities we were representing in Pakistan. And they offer many programs like in English language taught, and for bachelor students they have engineering, they have economics, business, international relations, and other faculties. And for masters they have all programs generally.
Which programs is most popular in Italy? And
from Uzbekistan, many students they applying for engineering programs. They applying for computer engineering, IT, data science, mechanical engineering, automotive engineering. Most Uzbek students they are coming for engineering programs, as well as some of them for business and economics.
So after graduation, is it possible to find a job from Europe countries, especially from Italy or somewhere else?
During their studies, students they can work as a part-time, like 20 hours per week. It's officially allowed by government, and they can work in part-time job. Of course, if they want to, after graduation, if they don't want to work, they have to know Italian language as well. So, or in Europe, they can work, but it's not easy to find a job. But if they graduated from universities and if they are really good qualified expert in their field, so it's easy, they can easily find a job. But during their study period, they will work probably as a waiter or in the hotel or in tourism sector. It's not easy to find a job without knowing Italian language.
Okay. So another question, what are the overall expenses? This is a question from the student as well.
Yeah, the costs per month is depend on the city. For example, we can say that like 500-600 euro per month is enough for students, is sufficient to live. But if they will go to the Milan, like in Milan, their expenses will be 700-800 euro per month. Or if they go small cities or like Messina or Cassino, in this case, they will spend only 400-500 euro per month.
This is for the food, for the...
It includes food, accommodation, transport, daily expenditure, like they monthly phone calls, or so most probably they spend 500 as a students will be enough, but in big cities it's 600-700.
600-700.
Yes.
All right, so they will live in private accommodations or the hostel from university?
The government offer a public accommodation. In this case, if they win the scholarship, currently we have a statistics from Uzbekistan students. We have 100% of the students win the scholarship, and they stay in the first year in the private accommodation, like 3 students, 4 students. They come together and they rent an apartment, and from the second year they start to live in the government accommodation, which is cost like around 150-130 euro per month, which is very costless. The accommodation shared room, it costs 250. Single room starts from 300. So main part of their costs is accommodation. If they find a cheap accommodation, so their living costs will decrease. But generally, they spend for shared room 250-300 euro. For single room starts from 300 euro.
Okay, that's right.
But most students prefer to stay in state accommodation because it's cheap and it costs less. And it's near to the universities as well, most accommodations.
So they will have all facilities for students, right?
Yes, the all accommodations, all. Of course, the university offer also the canteen. They can use it twice a day. They can have a lunch and dinner, and they can spend around 2 euros or 3 euros per lunch or dinner, and it's extremely cheap for students. And they didn't only just study.
Okay, another question from Azam Ismailov. So he's asking, what can you say about the scholarship? This is first his question, and the second question is, do you have information about Sapienza and Tor Vergata universities?
About the scholarship, they win a scholarship in October or November, but they get the scholarship end of the December. So and the total amount of scholarship is 5,200 or 300 euro. So they get half of their scholarship is end of the December. So it means they will get 2,600-700 euro in December. Until December, students have to survive themselves. After getting the scholarship, it will be enough for them 5 months. And about the university, Sapienza, I myself, I studied in Tor Vergata and Sapienza. So I studied finance and economics in both universities. I strongly recommend all students who would like to come to Rome, especially Sapienza and Tor Vergata, because they are two biggest universities in Rome. Of course, each university, they have a different programs. Sapienza offer more English taught programs than Tor Vergata, and they newly opened new bachelor programs like computer science and artificial intelligence, global humanities, classics. Sapienza is ranked in the first in the classics, so they open also bachelor programs in classics, and they offer also sustainable building engineering in bachelor program, which is combination of architecture and civil engineering. And they offer also medicine. Tor Vergata offer many programs in engineering and business and economics, international relations. They also opened new master programs in tourism. They have programs in business economics bachelor and global governance, engineering science. So students who would like to come to this kind of programs, they are more welcome.
That's good. So another question, is it possible to study master's computer science if my field was in bachelor in finance?
In finance to computer science or engineering, it's a little bit challenging, so it's difficult to say that they can study or not. Most probably the university will not accept their application because field is not related. Yes, they don't, but maybe some universities they can accept him because maybe they make a Skype interview, but I suggest students to apply not computer science or computer engineering. They can study data science, maybe more related with their background.
So another question, is scholarship changed if students' GPA decrease?
No, if the student's GPA is decreased, it's not affect the scholarship. The important, the first year, they don't ask any academic results, but after first year, when they can become a second year students, they have to pass their half of their exam. So let's say that if they have in whole year 8 or 7 exams, they have to pass at least their 3 or 4 exams. It means they have to get 30 credits from 60. So if they get 30 credits, the scholarship will be same. It will be not changing, and they can get second year scholarship as well and third year as well.
Okay. Which university can you advise for architecture program?
So architecture program we have in Milan Politecnico and Torino Politecnico. They require national exam. Students have to pass the national exam. The exam will be in September, beginning of the September. And they have to knowledge about the mathematics, physics, logic, drawing and drawings, general culture, and some history questions. They have to know good comment in English language because the exam will be in English, and if they get 20 points from out of 90, it means they will be eligible and they have a chance to be admitted.
20
of course
from 90?
Yes, because in total they have 60 questions, and each question is 1.5, and it means 90. From 90 total score, they have to get 20. So it means they will answer around 15 questions correctly. They can be eligible for program, but it's very competitive. I also recommend students to apply some other programs, like for example, Sapienza have a program in sustainable building engineering, which is a combination of architecture and civil engineering. they can apply. It's without national exam. It's more easy to get acceptance letter from Sapienza University, and it's also like architecture and civil engineering.
What about IT programs in master's degree? Which university can you advise for them?
Yeah, IT programs, I recommend Polytechnic Torino. I can recommend Pisa University, Genova, Padova universities as well. These four universities really good at in IT, and also Bologna University. They have some programs in IT, but they also some other universities like Ca' Foscari. They offer IT programs. Some Messina University as well. They offer Pavia as well. They offer some programs. So many universities they offer, but they have to check their requirements, and they have to apply until the deadline. And I think most of the universities is 30 May or 15 May. So in 2-3 weeks, most university deadline will finish.
Okay. Another question. I have done a lot of projects in web programming. These are not enough to prove to apply for masters in computer science. I think the question was wrong because he's
no, it's important thing. I think these students is who studied in finance, yes, or same students.
Yeah,
like,
I think it's same.
yeah,
Same.
Yes, because the admission committee, they check their study, like their GPA and their course description, what they studied in bachelor degree in the universities. To check their background, also it's important. The resume is very important. If in some universities they may evaluate their also work experience, but mainly I can confirm that most universities, they check their course description and the university's exam and the grades.
Okay, so we have two questions, but they're almost same. Can university help to find a job for students after graduation? And another question from the Jasur Bek: can students get working visa after finishing education in Italy? So I think we can.
Yeah, I will summarize two questions. One, so after graduation, the universities help to find a job. They have a work placement office. They help us students to find an internship. They help us students to find a job. For example, I can say that, for example, Ca' Foscari universities, they have a really good placement office. They offer internship. It's mandatory during their studies. So if the students, they do internship in their study period, and it will be easy for them to find a job after graduation. Of course, to find a job, to do internship, it's required to know Italian language as well. So during their studies, universities offer also Italian language programs. Most universities, they offer free language courses to students, and it will be easy for them to learn Italian, and they do their internship, and they can find a job. After graduation, the Italian government give them 1 year permit to stay in Italy to look for a job. If in this 1 year they find a job, they can stay in Italy. They can change their study permit to work permit, and they can stay in Italy. They can work, and after 2 years of working, they can get residence permit of Italy. They can live in Italy more than 10 years, and if each 10 years they will change their I think only pictures.
Is internship is free or not?
Most internship is paid. Most internship is paid. It's depend on the internship, but the most internships are paid.
That's good. Some of them they are asking to speak in Uzbek. Give me like 2 minutes to explain them. Assalomu alaykum. Hozir bizda Italiyada ta'lim haqida ma'lumot berilyapti. Italiyada bakalavr, magistratura bo'yicha. Avvalambor ming bor rahmat kirib ko'rayotganingizga. Endi agar отдельный savollaringiz bo'lsa, xudo xohlasa bizning operatorlar sizga javob berishligi mumkin. Bizda hozir mehmonimiz o'zbekchani bilmaydi, shuning uchun inglizchada suhbat ketyapti. Bizga direct orqali savol, telefon raqamingizni qoldirsangiz, operatorimiz bog'lanib savollaringizga javob berishadi xudo xohlasa. E'tibor uchun rahmat. So the next question is, can you tell me which city of Italy is good to study and comfortable?
Yeah, in my personal view, I recommend many cities. For example, the Pisa is a small city, and for me it's convenient to study in there. It's a good place to study. Genova, Turin, I like Turin too much. Genova is also, I studied myself Rome. Rome is a little bit chaotic city. There are many tourist camps, but I liked Rome. Venice is a perfect place to study, to live. Bologna as well. So it's important that which programs they are going to study. They don't have to check the universities. They have to check the departments. For example, if they want to study business and economics in bachelor, so they have to check them. They don't. I recommend to check them the ranking of the department, not by universities. So if they check by universities, the Bologna University is the first. But if they check by department, there are some other universities that they're giving good education, like Pisa, like Ca' Foscari, and some like Padova, for example. So they have to check departments. It's very important. So they have to check each university. They are good at some programs. So it's very important they check by departments, not by whole universities. So it doesn't make sense that, okay, I'm studying in the good ranked universities, but you don't get a quality of education, or you don't feel that you are good at this university. So they have to check department, the professors, they have to communicate with the universities and these departments.
All right, thank you. And is admission rate Polytechnic of Milan? I didn't get the question actually. So what is the qaytarib? I think they're asking about the admission.
Yeah, I think they asked university admissions. The Polytechnic Milano, they have only available programs in bachelor in architecture. The master's deadline is already finished. So who would like to study bachelor in architecture design, they can apply. They still have time. And the exam will be in September.
What is the admission rate for University of Milan? Is it difficult to enter?
No, the Milan University is not difficult to enter. They check their background, and it's not hard to enter university. Some programs they make a Skype interview, and some programs even they check only the documents. They evaluate their background studies, and that's it.
Okay.
But Milan is a little bit expensive to live. It costs more, like 700-800 euro per month. Some other cities is cheap, like Pisa, Genova, Pavia, Padova, Ca' Foscari, Venice. Rome also. Rome is big, but it costs less than Milan.
Some of them they are asking about can you inform about deadline for admissions, the last deadline?
It depends on universities, and it depends on the programs. For example, most like Kaposkar University deadline will finish in April, but for our students study point students, we can extend their deadline. So this is only for our students available until end of the May. We extended the deadlines for our students.
That's all.
Sapienza, for example, we extended the deadlines until end of the May, most programs. Some programs will be end in June. So generally, end of the June, we can accept the applicants, but we encourage students to apply until end of the May, and they can get admission letter. And then they can decide if they want to come to Italy, or if they want to wait, or if they want to do first semester online and second semester on campus. So I recommend students to apply universities and get admission letter.
Some of them, they're asking about the Ielts score, which Ielts score is minimum.
The 5.5 is the minimum overall score that they have to at least 5.5 B2 level. But some universities, they can accept also B1 level. So even the current situation that universities, they don't require IELTS right now, because they know that most exam is cancelled. So who has IELTS or TOEFL, they can send, but who don't has, they have to do the application, and they can just inform the admission committee that they will take the IELTS exam later on, and they will evaluate their application.
So they are giving the chance, right, to apply later.
Yeah, they give chance, or even some universities, they don't ask IELTS or TOEFL, they make a Skype, just Skype interview with students.
All right. Many students says that Italy has big bureaucracy. Is it true? This is the question.
Yeah, it's true. It's true that not students, all of the Italian citizens, they complain about this problem. Italy is a very good country. It's a very beautiful, but of course, this is a problem. They have a bureaucracy, but I think if you decide to stay in Italy, the bureaucracy will start for you. But if you don't decide to stay in Italy, if you just study and go back to your country or change your country to work other places, it means it's not too much related with students.
Oh, okay. Which universities can offer tourism program?
Tourism programs, they offered by Bologna universities, Tor Vergata universities, Bergamo University, Florence University, and some other, I don't remember the names, but 5-6 universities, they offer tourism programs.
Whether the people speak English or whether we should learn Italian. Do Italian population speak English?
Yes, in the public, they speak Italian, of course, but your lectures in universities, you can communicate with your professors and your classmates in English. But in the public, most Italians, they prefer to speak Italian language. Even in restaurants, in other shop places, you have to learn Italian language, and slowly you will integrate to the community, and you will have your many classmates, Italian classmates, and it will be easy for you to learn Italian.
Destroy the language barrier, right?
Yeah.
Do degrees and programs of Italian universities recognized in other countries?
Of course, it's useless to say that. Of course, that all public and private universities, they are recognized first by Italian Minister of Education. So if the Minister of Education, Italy, they don't recognize as a university, so they cannot give a degree. So in this case, these all universities we offered to you, they of course they are recognized by Minister of Education, and of course if they get degrees in any universities that we offer, they recognize all over the world.
And even a lot of universities that are in top 500, right? Like
Yes, most of them.
Bologna,
Yes, Sapienza, Bologna, Padova, Polytechnic Milano, Torino.
That's great. What can you say about study Italy again? Like some special life hacks, some insights?
Yeah. I want to share my little bit experience with students. I studied myself. Firstly, I was never planning to go Italy and study in there. I was planning to go some other countries like France, Germany, or UK. But I got admitted the programs that I want really. So and then I didn't decide even single minutes, and I said, okay, I will go Italy. So I chose Rome. I came to Rome and I stayed almost. I'm living in here 9 years, and we recruiting like more than 7 years experience for students recruitment. So I can tell that students can easily rely on to agencies and study point, and they will take care of you, and they will help you to apply universities and get a scholarship. So we give a guarantee that students will get a scholarship and they will get admission letter. And of course, we will take care of them when they arrive in Italy. So I recommend to use this opportunity. Of course, current situation about COVID, the parents are worried that what will happen. So it's current that even we don't know ourselves what will happen in next 2-3 months. But I think that in Italy and in the world, it will go better in some months. It will, I think in September it will be finished. Oh, I hope so, but I don't know yet. But and let's see, we don't know yet. But firstly, I encourage them who would like to study in Italy. They should apply right now until end of the May, and they get admission letter, and then decide then later they don't want to come to Italy, or they don't want to use this admission letter for this academic year, for next academic year maybe. So I encourage them to apply right now, and they get admission letter, and then decide.
Yeah. So everyone is working online. They can apply, like
Yeah.
they can send the documents.
The university is working. They normally they work. They do the online. They working, and the current who study in Italy, they give a lectures online. So it's not a problem. The only thing is that we are staying at home, so it's a little bit boring. I hope it will finish soon, and we can go out and we can make socializing out.
Just now, one student, like our follower, asked a personal question: are you in a lockdown too?
Of course, yes. We staying at home. If we go out, we have to get a permit. So we are trying to go out only once a week to the shopping.
Once a week.
So yeah, like I prefer to go out once a week or tense because the people in the first case, when first case is started end of the February, they didn't aware of this situation and they go out. So there's some people are not responsible, and we are afraid, of course. So I prefer to stay home, and we are learning the new language. So we are working online. We do our jobs online. We try to stay home and try to apply universities if you want to come in September, and then decide later on.
By the way, I want to ask, why in Italy and in Spain too many cases? What was the reason?
I can say Italy, the reason, in the first, when they started, in end of the December, they didn't take too serious. But when the first cases is started, they know in Milan by Chinese people, it was end of the February, and I was myself in Uzbekistan, and first cases they found end of the February, and then they started quarantine because Italy, they didn't do any restriction on travels. For example, in airport, they didn't check anything else. They accept this virus as a normal virus. And when school was announced that the school will be closed, and all parents take their children, they go to the outside, they do other. They didn't stay home. Yes, they didn't stay at home, and it was a problem for Italy, and that's why the numbers increased. And personally, I can tell my view: you cannot keep the Italians at home too much. They are more socializing people. They socialize in outside. They want to go out. They want to stay out. So it's very, very hard. But right now they understand the situation, and the government, they take very strict rules about this outbreak. And I think it will end in some months. But of course, I hope that in September there will be no cases.
Even about Uzbekistan, I can say the same thing. You cannot keep them in the house. So yesterday, our police, they caught someone. They were playing football,
Yeah.
All together,
Also,
around 10 people.
In Italy, they do many punishment for the people. They many punishment, and then the people, they understand it.
Okay, I think no more questions. Everything was clear. We will upload this video to our YouTube channel, so later on, if someone missed, they can watch the video and get information again from our videos. Let me finish the live from Instagram. Hammaga rahmat. E'tibor uchun, kelganingiz uchun, ko'rganingiz uchun. You want to say something to our followers?
I want to see them in Italy for next academic year. Inshallah. And keep safe their health, keep safe, stay at home.
O'zinglarni asranglar, hammaga rahmat kattakon.